Hi everyone, it's Cal. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back. And if you're new here, I talk about everything Kundalini. Today I want to talk about the Nimbus, the ring, the halo, the circle that happens at this level, right around the crown. This is the whole reason of doing the Kundalini. When you do the Kundalini, you root to the mother force, but remember, the mother force always lives inside of you and outside of you, and you're grounding your energy to use her force in the planet to get the nimbus, to get the crown, to get the halo, because that is your connection to your creator. There is the creator and the creatrix, the male and the female. And the creator, although he has less power than her, he is fantastic. He's all things good. The mother, once you get to the father, you stay with the father until you eventually die back to the mother. But your consciousness is always being worked on until you join with the mother, and then you just merge with her body of awareness, which is the universe. The father force is just, good, equitable. The mother is a mother. She loves her child no matter what. So she serves everybody. She serves the killer, the rapist. She serves the priest, the monk. She has no boundaries. She serves all who, and she serves them well, all who can harness her force. And that is another reason why you want to do the Kundalini. Because not only do you root to her, you build your body of influence through, it's her essence that forms the bars in your being. It's her essence that brings the dove. And it's not really a dove, and I explain it in the webinar. But just for explaining in these videos, we'll call it the dove because it looks and feels like a dove around the crown. Now, when you get the dove seemingly creates a nimbus, a halo around your head. Really what it is it's unity with the Father. And it's kind of like sort of a circle being cut into the awareness of the Father so that there's no boundaries between the two of you. And the Father is the whole reason why we're here. The Father is the one that has built the system in the body of the mother. We come from her, and we are building our awareness. Now, you can have all other kinds of all different types of forms of enlightenment, but the Kundalini is the big one worth having, because you don't just have an experience, you gain something for eternity. You unify your mind body so they are one unit. This increases your conductance. This increases your, obviously, both levels of awareness with the Father and with the Mother to a very heightened degree. I can't tell you enough how vital the Kundalini is. And as you know, my experience, I just stumbled upon it because I was looking for absolute truth. And I want to do a video about pain, because pain is the one that's driving the force pain is actually good for you because the learning curve with pain is a 180, right? That's what's causing the pain, the lack of awareness. But getting back to the halo, you want to get in meditation, you want to build your force so that the streams in your body are running so well that it bursts open the door where the pituitary gland is, where circadian rhythms enter you. It plummets it open in the opposite direction. It's like a swinging door, but it doesn't get swung the other way. And in doing so, first of all, it goes to the pituitary, which is kind of the mother of your body. And she says, wow, this is a lot of force. I'm sending you to your dad. So then she lets that go. It goes up and bursts open up the door. And then that's when the whole thing starts. The burning in the fire, the coming of the dove, and the force continues, and you reunite with your creator on the seemingly other side. But really, we're just seeing in a different manner here. Don't want to get into that. But yeah, so the when it comes to getting the halo, you get in there, you get that, you go to the creator, you see all the lives you've ever lived. You can't maintain the power. The power is too much, and it's the power of compassionate love that actually builds the body mind. It's incredible. And when you come back, once you get the Nimbus, you have to reground. You need to get routines going, and you need to stay in this life, because after that happens to you, you connect to the web. And when your mind connects to the web, you fragment. And you go into that understanding of complete and utter awareness, and then you fall back. Now, I know everybody is different, so I'm really coming from my own experience, but I know that my experience is kind of like the Jane experience, right? It's sort of the John Doe and Jane experience, and it was done at such a velocity, not just because I was killer fit, but because my mind was so intensely focused, and I was driven like a lion. And I'll tell you, your emotions drive the engine, and the emotions come from the mother. They drive that engine, and I had loads of anger, and I funneled that anger into meditation. And I never stopped working out. I was working out every day for, I don't know, my entire life. And I was working out the entire time I was doing deep meditation, deep compassionate meditation. But when I came back, because I didn't reground and because I didn't get my daily habits going, I got obsessed with the truth. What does that mean? Where does this come from? Where is that going? Why do I want this? What does it, what purpose does it serve? And why do I even want these powers? What does it matter? You know, so the obsession, it's the mind that goes into the obsession. But getting grounded, getting people around you, getting good habits going, and really basic, ordinary sounding habits. I mean, after you've been to this world, you're like, wow, never want to go back to the other one because everything is so larger than life here, so incredible, so bright, so lusty, so, you know, multi-dimensional, just so fantastic. Never want to go back to that flat and ordinary planet, but you need to. And when you get back, you need to ground, and this means kind of forgetting about it for a while and getting the bicycle going of everyday habits and not letting go of the meditation. Over time, I got into a whole bunch of stuff after doing this in meditation, but I did get obsessed, and everything starts to break down. You cannot live, you have to choose the world that you're going to live in, and you need to choose this one. That's why you're here. Okay. So if you're drawn to the Kundalini, that's probably because it's part of your journey to do that here now. And I would suggest you do it. But coming back, regrounding, get those boring habits going. Don't need to tell anybody about anything. You can write some down, but in the beginning, no obsession. You need to get this world happening again. And not letting go of the meditation either. Because I've been meditating more than 14 hours a day, and it always felt like it was just a minute. You know, I'd go into it in the early morning and then I'd come out at night and it'd be pitch black and I'd be like, whoa, what happened there? That was just a minute. So it's holding on to meditation, but not so much. It's balancing, it's meditation, it's friends, it's food, it's fitness, it's sleep. Sleep is so vital. But of course, when you're doing meditation is the advanced form of sleep. I mean, you can do 5 minutes of meditation and it's like 8 hours of sleep. I know sleep is archaic, but getting into the system of daily practical habits is absolutely vital. So when you go in, you get the halo, you're connected, you got the power, you can work on that later. You got to get back into the system of light, and you got to get pedaling that bike every day again. And I don't recommend full-time work after. I recommend part-time work, and I recommend part-time, meditation, 4 hours of work, sleep, preparing for sleep. And I mean, getting back into sleep was just so hard. Oh, it took me years because sleep was just so archaic. I'd wake up and I had all these aches and pains. And, when I was in meditation, and I was like, a rocket ready to fly. So it was trying to create the balance again, because actually sleep does have its purpose, because when you are in accordance with circadian rhythms, that's where you're really going to get sort of the benefit of both worlds. And that's what you want. You want the benefit of both worlds. You want to be able to use your powers in this world, but you need to get balanced. Sadly, I crashed. And because, I did the Kundalini 14 years ago almost. Yeah, 14 years ago. And I really went off kilter for an incredibly long time. The obsession and all sorts of feats that I was doing in meditation, because it was the one thing I was fantastic at, being able to focus. I think it can also be handed down in family, because my grandmother was an astral traveler, which I didn't even know until just a couple of years ago. And it always skips a generation. So you'll probably tend to be more like a grandparent than you will your own parent. I am almost identical to my grandmother, even in all her bad habits. And I'm not like my parents at all. So, without getting into that, just wanted to jump on and say, hey, get in there. This is what you want. You want the Nimbus. And the deeper your focus on your heart, on compassion, is going to fuel you to get the Nimbus. It is deep compassion, focus, and strength. Strength of the body-mind, the strength of your focus, the strength of your will to get absolute truth. And I would suggest, as I suggested to one person that I was communicating with a month ago, I would suggest prayer before you go into meditation. That one sentence repeated over and over before you go into meditation, that the outcome of that sentence that you want to achieve is super clear, so that source can't confuse it with anything else. And that really fueled my meditation incredibly. And like I said, the obsession came and the crash, and I'm still recovering from the crash. I am still recovering from the crash. The crash was hard. The crash was hard. And I don't want to get into it, but it was incredibly hard. And it completely took a toll on my mind and body, completely. And I believe it was also the velocity that I went at it. I mean, I was completely got obsessed, completely. But in a very different way that most people are. I was kind of had the mentality, I am coming to get you, and we are going to talk about what you've done. I had a lot of anger. But your emotions can fuel the way. However, when you get to that breaking point, just before your level in meditation drops to those lower octaves are like logs being tossed on the fire, or actually not even logs, more like paper, because boom, you just go. So that's the Nimbus for you. The Nimbus is what you're going for. That is the wreath. That is the critical thing out of all other things that you want to see or do or feel or know in meditation. This is the ultimate one. This is the ultimate one because you don't leave empty-handed. You get it, and you get it forever. And this is the key. Whereas the other things, yeah, you have some enlightening here and some enlightening there, and you can know a little bit for sure, and there's nothing wrong with any of it. But for me, I really want to possess something. At the time, I didn't know what I was doing, but later on I went, wow, I just did that, and I don't even know how I did it. And I'm not even getting into being able to use your mind to control all sorts of things. You can do that now, but boy, when you have the forces behind you, you are incredible. But you're also at that point where there's nothing you really want, and so this is what you do. Anyways, yeah, trying to find desires after is a real hard game, and I mean hard, and that's what really takes you into the crash to what do you live for now? But you have to re-fall in love with life. In the beginning, when I first came out of meditation, yeah, I'd kind of fall in love with life, kind of in a euphoric sense. Woo, everything here, this is so great. And I just love life and everything. But then over time, as I started to go deeper and I started really losing my foot in this world, the crash came, because ultimately you have to choose. And I wouldn't choose, I wanted both. And it's so funny because, I'm going through this in my life right now where, I'm in one country, but I want the other country. And ultimately it's come down to the crunch that I have to choose. And, choices are hard, as you know. But anyways, the Nimbus, that's what it is. I'm going to explain it in detail so that you actually know what the Nimbus is doing. I think I've mentioned it before, but we'll talk a little bit more in detail on the webinar, because as your body, as all the processes in your body move, they're actually making a kind of all these alignments that, if you look at it from side view, it looks like a thunderbolt, and you're actually making those in your head as well, but the other way. So in your head, it's going in one direction, southwest, and here it's going north-south or south-north, because it's in a cycle, right? Everything's moving to the right. So we're going to talk about this in the webinar in great detail about what is happening within you, and when you're doing the Kundalini, and over time, because what's happening is your body is getting ready to zip up, so to speak, have this bolt so that it can bolt back to the Father and reconnect and you know, how do I say this better? And have deeper intuitive awareness by rooting to the mother. She's always within you. It's always happening, but everything goes into a massive magnification when you do the Kundalini. Okay, so I think I'm rattling on. I just wanted to let you know what the Nimbus is and its importance, because this is the be-all do-all and it's worth having. And not to discredit anybody in any other experiences, because they're all good for sure. Like, I totally get it. Oh my God, are you kidding? This was my world for so long. But I do want to reiterate that the Kundalini is the big one. And this is why there's so much sort of energy around it in the globe, but people have really lost sight of what it is, and it's sort of degenerated into all these other bizarre things. And not to discredit them either. I mean, participating in life is great, but let's just get back to the fundamentals of why we're here on this planet. We're here to learn, and we're building our awareness, and nothing is going to build it for you and give you a big bounty in the end, like the Kundalini is. So I hope you got something out of this video. I am going to go to the Polina Mountains today and go hiking in the snow again. I am not going to feed the horses. The horses do not know what carrots are. They don't eat them. It was so sad to be running out with oats and carrots to the horses, and they were like, lady, stay away from me. They are wild horses, and they are really wild. They are not even a little bit tame. And one of them started sort of rearing up to me, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm out of here. But I'm just going to go snowshoeing, and hopefully I'll see the horses. And because it's just so majestic. I am the only one up there in the mountains with Paulo, and we are hiking in the big white, and the horses are just, it's just all so beautiful, my gosh. And yeah, I wish you could really be there in the flesh and participate in that, because it's like I said, majestic and pristine. It's really pristine. It's so untouched and completely either unknown or forgotten up there. But again, getting back to the Nimbus, I hope that this resolved some of the questions around it. And other than that, I'll see you next time. Everybody, you take care. Bye for now.